Hello, everyone. This is Rebecca, just popping in for a couple of updates. One, if you're new to the podcast, thank you so much for being here. Two, if you're a longtime listener, thank you so much for participating and staying with me. I am currently working on a podcast makeover, and so that will mean kind of revamping things and not so much about the podcast itself, but starting a YouTube channel and a website. And my kids are wanting me to sell some merch. And I said, I don't think I'm that podcast famous yet, but I could certainly put that together. So, anyway, before I go and pursue this makeover, which I'm planning to do over the next, 4 to 6 weeks, I'd like to hear from you. What do you want more of? What do you want less of? What do you love about the show? What do you not love so much? What would you be willing to engage in? Do you like things like newsletters or courses or merchandise or, um, well, I can't imagine you'd love merchandise for podcasts other than just putting the logo, which, by the way, I did pre-purchase some potential merchandise and I got the picture from the podcast on a t-shirt and I was wearing the t-shirt with my own picture on it. And it was really, really funny. And then I also bought a coffee cup that was kind of misshapen. And so my picture looks really weird. And so I'm really glad that I did not think that that was a good idea. But I did get a really cool looking tote bag. So anyway, I want to hear from you. You are the people I want to serve. You are the people that I want to connect with. This is why I do this. This is started out as a hobby and I just love it and very much want to grow it and continue it. So you are important to me. If you could please email me any ideas you have, story@RebeccaTapiaMD.com. That's the email address. I would love, love, love to hear from you. And of course, if you're taking the time to do that and you haven't left a review on any of the podcast platforms, please do that as well. So anyway, the next episode that's about to air here, I recorded it the same time I recorded our previous podcast with Mike. So this is with Doug. We're all in the same volleyball parent friend group. It was also recorded with a lot of background noise and it has been since removed by AI. But I can assure you, if you want the original recording, it's pretty hilarious because there are lots and lots of volleyball sounds in the background. And my 10-year-old daughter was upset that I wasn't home. So she called me and texted me and FaceTimed me 15 times during this episode recording. And so that was kind of challenging to keep the recording going because I actually record these on my iPhone. Anyway, I think it turned out just fine. And I really appreciate Doug coming on to talk about these topics. And so anyway, without further ado, please, please, please remember to send me an email and I will see you soon. Welcome back to another episode of Real Conversations About Aging Parents. This is your host, Rebecca Tapia. I have Doug with us. Hi, Doug. How are you?
Doing better than good today.
Good, good. We are also at a volleyball tournament for my other episode with Mike. So what is your assessment of the play so far?
I just enjoy watching it.
Okay, that's fair. They've actually lost both games, so
Yes,
we get to say that.
I can't get too involved in it. And the girls are having a good time. So there we are.
Very good. Very good. So we've known each other. Our girls go to school together. So I didn't actually know much about your mom until a couple weeks ago. We were talking just out of nowhere. And you mentioned something about your mom being in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, you have to come on my podcast. And you said, okay.
Yeah.
So here we are. So before we talk about your mom, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from and what do you enjoy doing?
Well, I was born and raised in Abilene, Texas, the thriving metropolis. And that's where my mom is currently. So we'll get into later on about all the, what we can't do there. And then went to A&M, met my wife, fell in love, got married, moved to San Antonio, and we'll be here until the day I die, I hope.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. And you'll have a beautiful lake house. So you have two places you could die, at home or the lake house.
Yes, I will.
Either one.
One day the ashes shall be spread at the lake house, I hope.
Good. Good. And tell me about your sibling situation.
I had a brother who passed away. He was in a plane crash in 2020.
Oh, wow.
So that also makes having an aging mom more difficult.
Was he your only sibling?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
So, and he has a wife and 2 kids. So that's, once again, throws more monkeys into the pot, so.
And what about your parents? Are your both parents still living?
No, my dad died probably 20 years ago.
Oh, my goodness.
So
okay.
he must
have been pretty young then.
He was 55.
Oh, wow.
So he had a prostate cancer and went aggressive and just passed away. And then had mom. My mom she was still young, but she was taking care of her dad. And then I guess the following year after my dad died, he died. Then the next year, my other grandfather died. Then the next year, my grandmother died.
Oh my
So my
gosh.
mom was hitting it,
Once a year.
once a year. It
Big.
was having
Yeah.
big traumatic, and I'll be honest, having taken care of those people, I think let her not deal with my dad's death as much.
Okay.
And so, but then when they were all gone, it was like, now what?
So she kind of buffered those
Yes.
grieving episodes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So what year was the last grieving, the last death?
I would say probably, I'm going to give it 17 years. Okay. My son's 17. And so I would say 17 years ago, because none of those people were around for him to be born.
I see.
And
Okay.
so that's where I'm going to go. So we're going to say 18 years ago.
And I'm assuming she lived by herself after your father passed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it maybe my dad was gone. It was year
All
after.
around it,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
same
So
time.
once again, time is, the days are long and the years are
Yeah.
short. I can't remember.
Yeah. And so they passed and she was she still working at that time?
No, she was always a stay-at-home mom.
Stay-at-home mom. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So once your dad passed and these other people passed, so what did she fill her time with?
She tried to get involved in things and just medical care missions, volunteering time at the church. But it probably wasn't enough. She needed something more, I'll be honest.
Okay.
So she came and she visited a lot. So my in-laws live 2 miles away. My mom lives 4 hours away. And my mom was seeing the kids more often than.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was making it down.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Okay. And then you still had the other brother at that time that had his own family too.
And we still had the other brother. So she would go up, and he was living in Missouri at the time. So she would go up to Missouri and visit him.
Okay.
And so she was staying busy.
So how far back did you think something was going on, either with her health, that she might need extra help? How did you know, or how did she know?
It was, I guess, 2-3 years ago. Okay. So off to back up, she went through, after all the deaths, I think she was going through depression.
Sure.
And it was like, hey, maybe you should go. Now I don't need it. It's like, yeah, maybe you do. Long story short, she started eating a lot and put on a lot of weight. So she's probably about 350 pounds. And
that was not how it was when you grew up?
No, she was always a bigger lady, but not this big.
Yeah.
And so she was having knee problems. And with the knee problems, she would always get injections. And the doctor would always say, hey, one day these injections won't work.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That was my future mom's problem, the future problem. And then one day that happened. And so, unfortunately, my mom's body has kind of given out on her, but because of what her choices were. And so my brother and I would always tell her, hey, you need to, and we got barked at, yelled at by her. And she goes, that's, because she was having issues. And it was like, it's not my weight. And we're sitting there, it's 100% your weight. And she would doctor shop. She would quit doctors that would tell her, you need to lose weight. She said, I don't like that doctor. Well, why? Why don't you like him? Well, because he said I was too heavy. Wow, if everybody, so then, Abilene's not a big place, but she is stuck with the last doctor that will take her.
Oh, gosh.
We don't like him. Why not? Because he tells me I'm too heavy. Okay. So that's what got her into the situation she's in. So
how did y'all decide, or did she come to you or decide to change into a like an assisted facility, or you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, how did that come about?
So, as I said, one day the shots won't work.
Yeah.
One day the shots didn't work.
Okay.
And she was in pain. Well, then she had it scheduled to go get a knee replacement because her one knee was so bad. And the doctor basically said, you need to lose weight. I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Well, she was having so much trouble, she couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom.
Okay. So her mobility just went
is gone
to zero. Okay.
And so
and you really can't overcome that if you live by yourself.
Right.
There's only so much. Yeah.
Yep. So she went, and she has I'm going to say a helper, caretaker person.
Yeah.
And they went, and the biggest thing was they had to get a potty chair in the living room.
In her home when she was
In her
still at
home, yes. And it was like, are you kidding me? You are using the restroom in your living room.
Yeah.
So that happened for a little bit, and then we went in, and she couldn't shower. She couldn't clean herself.
Yeah.
And we went we kind of kept dropping hints. And I'll tell you this.
When you say we, you mean you and
Kelly, my wife.
Your wife. Okay.
So this happened probably for about a month.
Okay.
That this was going on. And we went in for Thanksgiving. I guess Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. We went in on Wednesday, swung by a nursing home, and we asked Mom, hey, there's not a lot there. So what's the nursing home you would like to go to, or maybe we should look into?
So she was already accustomed to that idea, or had she brought it up?
She was. She kind of brought it up.
Oh, okay.
Because she knew
she needed a lot of help.
So she went in. Here's her thought was she was going to go in for a month or so until she could lose a couple pounds and then get her knee replacement and then be right back.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
to her, it was part of the treatment plan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I got you off. Sorry. So y'all swung by the.
So we swung by, looked at it. I guess it was okay.
Yeah.
They had an opening. We put her in, I guess, the next week. I mean, it was.
Okay. So it wasn't that hard to discuss with her?
No. It was easy because it was temporary.
Ah, okay. So under the guy, not guys, maybe not that time.
No, it was
the umbrella of this is part of the plan for you to get home. So y'all didn't talk about selling the house or anything. This was you need some extra help right now.
Yep.
We happen to find this place open. Okay, so that's how it went.
Yep.
So then it probably was not that much friction. Then
it was no friction at all. Actually,
okay.
It was my mom was like, okay. Once that decision, we said here, she was okay. Let's do it. We were trying our hardest to get, and she was too. She was ready for it.
Can we talk a little bit about the administrative side of that? Mm-hmm. So usually when you find a home in a space at a nursing home, it's either private funded or Medicaid funded. Mm-hmm. And the Medicaid funded beds typically are 2 beds to 1 room.
Right.
So how did y'all approach that? Or
she's paying for it cash.
Okay. So you wanted the private way. Okay.
Yep. And at the time, this was only going to be 3, maybe 4 months.
Right.
And so unfortunately, my wife and we knew once she goes in, she's not coming out.
Right. Because then she'll get regular showers and somebody helping. And then,
she was. And we also knew that she wasn't going to lose the weight to get the knee replacement.
Okay. How did you know that?
Knowing her.
Okay.
I mean, because the weight's not the problem. The weight's never been the problem. It's always something else.
Gotcha.
And so if you're not going to address, she's been there now 2 years.
Okay. So we got to fast forward. So it's been 2 years.
2 years.
So 2 months became 2 years.
Yes. And she has lost maybe 5-10 pounds.
Okay.
And I don't know how you're in a nursing home getting fed by them, not doing anything, and you're still maintaining your weight. Yeah. Well, if you look at the bottom drawer, her little helper is like a candy pusher.
Oh, okay.
And brings treats, and my mom will Amazon stuff over and it's just, are you kidding me? It's the caloric intake when you're still taking in 2,000 calories and you're burning 1,000 calories.
What age is your mom now?
77.
77. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what did y'all do with the house?
It's still there.
So you're in the suspended reality. I don't know if that's the right word, but
that's perfect. So we have I'm not doing the house yet, but she had a car that every time I would go, the battery was dead. So I'd jump the car and all that.
Who was in the house, or how was she keeping up the house?
Her friend comes, the lady
checks on the house.
Yeah, checks on the house, and then she pays money to get the yard done. She pays money to do. It's
so she's maintaining a whole household.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is a lot of fun. So then I dropped the hint. And I just know my mom, you can't just say, hey, blatant. It's like
Yeah.
little hints, hey, jump the car again. Maybe we should get rid of it. No, I'll use it one day.
Mm.
And then finally it was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to sell the car.
Okay.
And so I it's a minivan with a lift thing and all
Yeah.
that. So I was gonna go sell it now. I've got it here in San Antonio, and now I just got to find the time to go and do all
Yeah.
this. And unfortunately, it's just not a regular minivan. It's a special with a
Yeah.
lift anyways. So, but now my mom is looking at the money of stuff, and she's okay. If we can sell it for 20,000, that's so we're paying. My mom is paying $10,000 a month.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
And this doesn't sound like the Ritz-Carlton
Oh well, it's unfortunately it's the best
of
in
in
Abilene.
Abilene.
So you get what you get, and here's the thing about it: they are they keep. So when we started, I think it was 8 or 9,000. Now I think it's up to 11, and they just keep they lower in the services. So now there's one nurse, one aide, and prices keep going up.
Mm.
And it's my mom's, well, this is great. I was like, well, it's supply and demand. There's a lot of you old people now, and there's not much of this.
Yeah.
So they're looking to make money, and they'll fill it up and then raise it until two people drop out. And then there's the number, two people,
And she's in a room in a hallway, right?
Yeah.
Not in a separate apartment or
Nope.
anything. Okay.
No, she's in just a regular little dorm room type thing. So
And now when you talk to her about it, what tense does she use? Like when I leave, is she saying
no,
things like that?
now she's accepted it.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
okay. This is where I'm at from now on.
Okay, so she's not still saying,
No, after 2 years and you're still getting the same results.
okay.
And
So that took care of itself then, that conversation.
it did.
Is it okay? But now at 10,000 a month, I mean, that'd be
Oh, she's
really hard to afford that for
yeah.
anybody.
Oh yeah,
Like,
she's looking at her numbers, and she's okay. If we sell the car for 20, that's 2 months. If I do this,
oh,
that's
gee.
it's. And here's I think we can get her. We can't get her. She's not mobile enough to even put in a car to drive down to San Antonio. It's just a fiasco in that sense. So the other problem, not, I'm going to say this, and I probably shouldn't have said it like the way I just did it, but she has no big health issues. I mean,
Nothing that's going to shorten her life.
no, her heart's fine. She has diabetes. Her her brain is fine, except for it's just, she has the old thing where she's getting, it's not
Yeah.
dementia or anything. It's just old.
So forgetful sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we're there, she mixes up stories sometimes. And so I don't correct her at all.
Does
And
she have any other support up there?
not really.
Not really. Has she talked about moving to San Antonio?
She has. And then as soon as she thinks about it, she stops.
Why?
I think because we don't know how to get her down here.
Oh, like the logistics, the
Yeah.
physical logistics. Okay.
The only thing we could maybe do is rent a
transport van.
an
or
ambulance
something.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
How
Have you thought about that? Would you
we have,
prefer that?
okay, so yes and no. If a lot of it would fall on my wife if she were here. And love my mom to death and all that, but golly, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So the other thing is she has that helper that does
It's
a lot,
working.
is
Yeah.
working. The helper needs the money too. And the helper is about as old as my mom.
Oh, okay.
So this is
It's a little symbiosis right there. Yeah.
Yes, I need you, you need me. And so it's just it is a weird fiasco with going on with what we've got, unfortunately. And the money one day will run out, and she's all nervous. We can sell the house down the road, but with that, it's going to be an issue. Well, I'll tell you this: with 10,000, I can't help. I can't do 10,000 a month.
Oh no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but we can't. Back in the old days, they would move in with you.
Right.
Well, in her situation, we can't do that. We can't help her do all that. I mean, so yeah, looking down the road, it's wow.
So you're thinking like Medicaid long term?
I don't. That's if you,
That's a whole other topic, right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
if you've ever been in a Medicaid, yeah, you don't want that. So I don't know. We're I I don't know what to do down the road. So we kind of just take it one step at a time. We do have, if sake of argument, sell the house. I think that'll give us,
Some breathing room.
yeah, that'll give us a
Yeah.
couple years. She still has retire. I mean, we'll be fine. I don't think she'll outlive the retirement. Her thing is she's scared that when she does pass, she won't leave us an inheritance. And I'm like, Mom, don't worry about us.
Yeah.
But well, that's one of those things, I guess, as that those parents of that generation were excited to do, to give.
That was a big part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder, I'm going to ask you this question. It might not be fair, but a lot of people get in your situation and do or don't help. There is a decision point there.
Mhm.
So how did you make the decision to stay engaged?
You have to. I mean, I don't know if there was ever a
Or what is it about you or what is it about her? And I know that when it seems natural, you don't think about it, but there are people in that same situation that kind of drift, you know?
you know what? It's weird because I was hearing your last talker, and it's just who we are. And one day we'll be in this situation, and you're trying to show your kids, because one day you hope not to be in a situation like this, but you're
Right.
trying to show your parents. So my mom took care of my grandfather, my grandparents, and everything. That she was there for them, and that's how we're raised. Okay, we're there. We've been shown this. It's, I guess you'd call it the word culture. We would This is how we were and are. And once again, the hard part right now is when you see decisions being made by your parent who should not be making this, and you're sitting there in the good book, honor thy mother and father, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is hard.
Yeah.
With
You're like, I didn't realize it came with so much
yeah,
baggage.
I mean, it was real easy when I was young,
Yeah.
and it's okay, they're right, and now you're like, now I've got to be the parent. I've got to tell her things, and you know, you're also a little nervous. The other one that you're nervous about is you've seen all these on TV scams and everything.
Yeah.
So the other day we were up there, and I got an email from, it was a scam. And so I'm messing with my mom. I go, oh, look, I got
Yeah.
a package. I've got to open this up she goes, oh, that's a scam. Like, all right, good.
Yeah.
You still have
Still have
that.
the antenna up. Yeah.
Yes, because you're sitting there, and while once my brother passed, my mom was like, okay, she made me the attorney, the
Power of attorney.
power of attorney, so I can do all that. So I do watch her checkbook just to make sure nothing is going sideways.
Yeah.
I've noticed when she does write checks, though, now she has the old lady handwriting, the scribbles, and so I check her checks, and if I see one that's, wait a sec, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mom, who did that? Oh, so and so helped me with that. And I was like, what is that going for? And
Yeah.
so she's actually kind of thankful that I'm watching stuff like that.
Okay.
So I don't get the, quit checking on me. It's, oh, thank you for looking at that. And I was just like, I just don't want, it's not that I don't want, I just tell her I'm watching out for her, and it's not for her to make a bad decision, but it's people out there that can take
Yeah.
advantage of her. She's okay.
So I'm wondering if you were talking to somebody who was in a similar situation, but 3 or 4 years before your time here, and they asked you about things like that. It sounds like you've had developed some strategies like the hints and the scam, but if you had to share like 3 words of wisdom or things that went particularly well or poorly, what would you say?
I would say prepare, because it's going to happen. Your parents are going to get old, and it is so much easier to have the conversation while they're younger or not in the situation. Because if you're making a decision because you have to, it's so different than talking about it. Hey, one day when this happens, so when my dad passed away, it was sudden. We really had no plans for the funeral. It was like, what do we do? What songs does he want sung? What does he want? We were like, well, crud. So, and back then you had 3 or 4 days. It wasn't, I
Right.
mean, it's okay. He passed away on Tuesday. We're burying him on Saturday. What do you want?
Yeah.
We had no clue. So after that, that's where it came to be. Let's be proactive. What do you want for your funeral? Hey, mom, what do you want for your houses? What do you want for? And we talked about and got everything taken care of. Well, then, of course, there's monkey wrenches, and we were doing real good till my brother died in 2020. And then it was like, well, he was supposed to do a couple things.
Yeah.
And now I've got to go and do all this. And so, and Abilene from San Antonio is 4 hours away. And one of the things that's now, once mom decides to sell the house or to whatever, it's okay, great. Now I've got to do all this by myself or with my wife, my family. So, it's just, that's where every time I go visit, I'm sitting there and we try to clean a little bit of it out.
Yeah.
Of course, my mom, she wants to go, okay, take pictures, bring it up here, and I'll tell you the stories about it. And he says, okay, so we do that because it also, she's lonely.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in a nursing home and you can't get out and do anything, she just sits there.
And she's cognitively still sharp.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah,
that's hard. Yeah.
So when I do talk to her, the conversations are kind of the same. And then it's what television shows you watching? What, she wants to know about my life. And, she jokes about her life is just, it's Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only sit here and complain about the food for so long.
Right.
So that gets a little, and then I can only hear about how bad the food is so many times. I'm like, yes, I know, mom, and food is horrible. But there's nothing, and anyway, it gets old fast, but for future people gonna go through this, see what you can do, pre-plan, and even pre-plan the money, where the money's going, and selling the house, the cars, find out. So my wife's parents, they are not an open book at all. We have no idea about what they have, what they got, and it's going to be one of those, oh my gosh. So our family was very open with what we had, money, investments, and everything. So my mom saw she won't outlive her money, but she's nervous about it, which that she should be. But just have candid conversations with your parents and ask them where things are and what they want.
Yeah, like practically, like just what banks do you use or what? How do you log into things? Yeah.
Yes. And one day, how do you want? Anyways, if we were to put you in a nursing home, which, and you can ask. So my mom, because we were only doing this 2 months, she didn't want any pictures or anything up there and all this. So now we're like, hey, do you want us to hang some family photos? And just this last month we were over there, we went and got this big picture of bluebonnets that she had hanging.
Yeah.
Just, I like that. It is, yes, this is your home.
So you've had a slow adoption of
yes.
of the nursing home. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not fun, but it's a reality and you just have to go with it, unfortunately. And I wish we would have been more open about some things and looked at her health a little bit more, and her health, just her diet. But that's the whole problem right there.
Well, I appreciate you sharing with us.
Yes.
I think it helps people to hear all different perspectives and stories. And thanks for letting me get you down here for this podcast. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Let's go see if those girls are winning or losing.
Let's go check it.
All right. Thank you. Hey, everyone. It's Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd like to take just a moment to review the disclaimer. This podcast is for informational and occasional entertainment purposes only. Nothing discussed here is formal medical, legal, or financial advice. By listening to the podcast, we are not creating a patient-doctor relationship between you and myself or any of the guests. Really, it's just me and a possible guest or two, sometimes 3, sitting around talking about difficult topics related to aging parents. If you have or suspect that you might have a medical problem or condition, you should seek advice from a licensed medical professional. If you have any questions or concerns, please read the full disclaimer in the show notes or contact me directly. Thank you again for joining us today. I can't wait to see you next week. Have a good day.